Well, hey everyone. I am here with my friend Kashia Davis, who is the outreach director, and my name is Brandee Gillum, and I am the conference director for the Rocky Mountain Homeschool Conference. And Kashia and I just wanted to have a conversation to talk about what are some of the common questions people come with that are just maybe concerned about attending the conference. So before we start with the questions, Kashia, we want to let everyone know when it is. So the Rocky Mountain Homeschool Conference is June 11th through the 13th, 2026 at the Denver Marriott Tech Center. So that's the bulk of the conference, but we have a special bonus day
Yes.
first, right? So what do you love about bonus day, Kashia?
Listen, the bonus day is near and dear to my heart because I get to talk to a lot of brand new families. And this is where they can come and do the introduction to homeschooling seminar, which is free. I love, what did you call it? The You Can Do It seminar that you
Yeah.
added this year. I love
Mhm.
that. And you guys also do the Unique Learner seminar on that day. And all of those groups of people are people that I see sort of doe in the headlights, just not
Yeah.
sure what to do, overwhelmed, and really needing to find help and community. So the bonus day it's my jam. I love it. And it's
Yeah.
definitely the place to start if you've never come
Right.
to the bonus day, right?
Yeah. And it's free. So we do ask that you guys register just so that we
Yes.
know that we have kind of enough seats set up in the rooms is really all that is. But it is free. All three of those workshops tracks have three speakers within them. So like the first one, it's
Right.
how to legally homeschool in Colorado. That's like if you've already decided, you want to homeschool, you just want to know how to do it. Those are the first three
Um,
workshops that morning.
yes.
Then we have powerhouse speakers for the unique learners workshops there. And then the You Can Do It track are for those of you that are skeptical, like, or just have a lot of questions about the
Yeah.
finances of it, maybe, but really, can I do this? Where you're not even convinced that this is even like a possibility for your family. So that's kind of the delineation between the intro seminar where you're like, I've decided I'm going to do it, but I need to know how. And the You Can Do
Hmm.
It is like, I'm not so certain if I'm going to do
Yeah.
this yet. So that's the difference between those two free sets of workshops on that day.
Yeah, I love it. And Brandy, I really do talk to a lot of brand new people who are just dipping their toes into homeschooling, just starting. Maybe they've got a year under their belt and they've been a little hesitant to join
Mhm.
us for the homeschool because what I hear all the time is, we advertise that we have 100 different workshops. So how do you encourage them to not be overwhelmed? How do they navigate those workshops?
Sure. Well, first of all, I would say it's perfectly normal to be overwhelmed. The very first conference I went to over a decade ago, I was absolutely overwhelmed. I mean, you walk in and you have these, like you said, these huge eyes of, oh my gosh, there's too many options, there's too much curriculum. It's so funny that we say that now, whereas like 40 years ago, they were like, there was no
In
curriculum. So
comparison, you're right. You're right.
so I think it's okay to feel overwhelmed. So I want to like edify people that do have that emotion. But what we need to be more overwhelmed by is like, are we being obedient to what the Lord has called us to do to teach our children diligently? And I was also overwhelmed at the idea of like, is my husband going to get on board with me? Because he wasn't at first. So I
Right.
remember feeling that overwhelmed. But yeah, the gazillions of workshops, these huge exhibit hall. So what do we do? So here are some practical steps, some practical tips, I would say, that would help you with that. So first things first, we do have on the website a downloadable guide where you go to the frequently asked questions on the Rocky Mountain Homeschool Conference.com website. And that guide walks you through, first of all, just kind of assessing where you're at in homeschooling. So, like, what curriculum are you using? So, it asks some like foundational questions. Just tell us where you're at right now. And you don't have to turn this into anyone. But then you can start looking through the workshops. We have the schedule also up on the website right now. And you can say, like, hey, I either know this speaker, I like their content, maybe I've read their book, or based on the list of topics, these are the ones that I'm most interested in. Now, there's three general categories that we offer at the Rocky Mountain Homeschool Conference. Actually, only about a third of the workshops that we offer relate to homeschooling. And I think I went in with this
Wow,
like,
I love that.
this is
That
all that we're going to talk
statistic
about.
Yeah, it's so surprising, but you're right. It's much more encompassing. I'm sorry, I didn't
Yeah.
mean to interrupt
No,
you.
no,
That's
no, that's totally
amazing.
okay. So the other third, one other third is biblical worldview, and the other third is family discipleship. So even if you're not homeschooling, we all need to be thinking about family discipleship and biblical worldview.
Hmm.
I would dare to say that you'll probably leave pretty convinced that homeschooling will be an awesome idea for your family. But the reality is, if you're just like, I just don't know about this, but what I really want to focus on is training my children from a biblical worldview. So hop on those tracks.
Yeah.
Everything is kind of symbol or color coded on the schedule. So follow those or follow a speaker you love. I will. One of the things I say is like hold your schedule with open hands because I was the type A mama who was like, I want this workshop, this workshop, this workshop. And then I hear speaker one. I was like, oh, that was so good. I need to hear her in workshop two. Oh, she's speaking again. So then you become a groupie. I mean, be aware that everyone becomes a groupie at a homeschool conference. And then they have a booth, and then you're excited about that. So do your best to make a plan for what workshops you want to attend, but hold
Yeah.
those plans loosely, right?
That is great. Coming with a plan, I think, makes all the difference. And can I just add, they can skip a session too. Like if
Yes.
they just need to go for a walk outside or go sit and people watch in the lobby, that is okay for a moment as
Yes.
well to collect your thoughts.
Yes.
I love that.
Because a lot of it is about digesting a lot of
It
information
is.
really fast, so we want to bless as many families and bring in as many speakers as we can over the 3 primary days of the conference, but we don't want you to leave overwhelmed. We want you to leave
Yeah.
underwhelmed and encouraged.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. We no, yeah, we don't want you to be underwhelmed. We don't, because there's so many great things.
It's
So can we
true.
talk about that? What do you do with the other things because it's never for homeschool families that I talk to, it's never really the homeschooling that becomes a problem. It's the dirty dishes, the dinner has to be cooked, the diapers
Mm.
need to be changed, the kids need to be groomed. It's always the extra stuff. So you still have those children. What do you do with children for the conference?
So there's a couple ways that particularly my husband and I have handled it over the years. It was the very first time I had left my children with anyone was actually to come to the conference, and I did leave them with my sister for a couple days because for me, I needed to not be doing all the things I do in my mom brain. So that
Yeah.
is an option, but if that is not an option for you, we do have a ton of children's programming at the conference. We have 19. Oh, now I care. I should know that number. We have a ton of children's programming going on. Oh no, it's 24, 26 different children's activities going on at the conference. So they are designed
Nice.
for 5 to 8 and 9 to 12 year olds. So those little ones, that's just not something that we provide at the conference, to be really honest. That's a whole different beast to get into caring for the little ones. But we do have a ton of children's programming. And then for your teens, most homeschooling teens are absolutely equipped and ready to just sit in a normal workshop. But we do offer 19 workshops geared specifically to teens. Those speakers know that their audience is for 13 to
Nice.
18-year-olds. So that's what they're
Yeah.
trying to focus on is how to bless those kids that are kind of coming into their own and thinking about dual enrollment or how to be an online influencer or, some of those hot topic things. So we've got a lot of workshops geared for them as well.
I love that. And what about those babies? If they've got, literally babies or the toddlers, what would you suggest? Can they bring those kids?
Oh, absolutely. Everyone is welcome to come. So we see some families that will bring like play mats, just like a blanket that and some quiet toys. They often sit kind of in the back of the room, but they are still welcome to be there. Lots of baby carriers around, strollers all over the place.
Yeah.
So there's lots of babies. Kasia and I both have been known. We don't steal children, right, Kasia? But we
No,
are
no.
willing.
We just borrow them for a few
We're just
minutes.
willing to like help families that need, you
Sure.
can just see mama is pouring sweat where she like desperately needs to get into that workshop to hear that bit of encouragement. Find someone on the check team to say, can you please hold my baby for 15 minutes just so I can sit down for a second? We would be delighted. We would love, we particularly love helping hold the babies. So,
That's awesome. Yeah, of course the kids are welcome. You can bring them
yes,
with you. It's a kid-friendly environment for
yes.
sure. You might
Hmm.
have to step out into the hall if there's a meltdown, but
Right.
generally they can be with you. Yeah, I love that.
Well,
Well, let's talk about the other thing I always hear is the exhibit hall.
sure.
And For the person who's never come, we've got five distinct exhibit
Mhm.
areas. So can you explain that? And maybe why is that maybe a blessing for the
Yeah.
participants?
So we do, because of the layout simply of the Marriott, we do have to spread our exhibitors all over the place. So there are five different areas where you will find them. The Rocky Mountain Event Center is one of the largest space, and that's where you're going to find most of our curriculum exhibitors out there, like Generations, BJU Press, Becca, Apologia, Matthew C. Some of those very specific curriculum, those larger curriculum providers, they'll be in that, what we call our main exhibit hall space. Then you're
Okay.
going to come into the atrium or the atrium annex, which is like the tent and the backcountry terrace. So it feels like kind of one big exhibit hall area, but we do have kind of two different names based on where they're at. So that's another place. Though that's where you're going to find people like HSLDA, Heritage Defense, some of those other
Okay.
kind of
Supporting.
service, yeah, providers there.
Okay.
And then we have what's called the North Exhibit Hall, and that is by the North entrance. And there we have people like American Heritage Girls. I think there's a dentist up there too. I mean, everyone needs a good dentist. I don't remember all of them there. And then actually, if you go up to the second floor, we call that our Life Launch exhibit area. And
Yeah.
that's where you're going to find some colleges, some gap year programs. Unbound is up there, one of our sponsors. And but they're geared for specifically kind of that teen kind of launching into adulthood. So yeah, there's five different areas, and we definitely encourage you to visit as many of them as you can. But because they're kind of in smaller pods, to me, it makes it less overwhelming. We're like, oh,
Right.
there's only five exhibitors in the North lobby, and that's all I need to look at right now, and so
Right.
but it's also like the hustle and bustle and getting to see the curriculum, like put it in your hands, is such a blessing too. And to sometimes you're asking the author, you're asking the publisher right there, those
Right.
questions
Why did
about,
you do this? And
yeah,
explain how this works. That's the best part. I love that.
yes.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So good. Well, Brandy, I think you broke down some of the common objections that I heard. Like they're always worried about what to do with the kids, and it feels overwhelming, but it
Hmm.
really is meant to serve them. And that's what I hear you saying is you
Yeah.
guys put so much thought. Thank you for the work you're doing to make this so wonderful, so attainable, and so worthwhile for all of our families.
Yeah, well, thank you, Kasia. There's a couple other programs I think I want to mention before we finish up here that I just kind of that are for the whole family. We were talking about workshops and talking about kids, but there's some things
Yeah.
that we do for the whole family. And one of them is the Enduring Word Museum. We're bringing in as like a special feature this year, and
Yeah.
that's going to be up on the second floor. You do need a ticket for anyone two and older. But that's going to be, we have like a full-size Gutenberg press up there, 1611, a new or a King James Bible up there. So it's actually going to be like a mobile Bible museum. So that can be a
So
family
cool.
event. Like you get to get a Bible museum while you're at the conference. So that can be super fun. And then we also have the family fun night on Friday
Yeah.
night. And I actually just booked the musical entertainment that will
Nice.
precede what's called the 1776 experience. So in honor of the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence, we're going to have everything from like skits, reenactments, some music in there. It's going to be quite a performance during that family fun night. So, if you're looking for ways to
Yeah.
just stay together as a family too during the conference, those are other things that we provide. So,
I love it. So
yeah,
good. And the family fun night is always like laughter fills every
yes,
hall of the hotel. It's
yeah,
amazing. So nice. Thank
yeah,
you. Well, I'm looking forward to it. I hope everybody would just join us. It's going to
I
be
know.
so fun.
You get to hang out with Kasia and I, and we are fun people. So you guys come to the conference, join us this year
Yes.
at the Rocky Mountain Homeschool Conference. Again, it's June 11th through the 13th, 2026 at the Denver Marriott Tech Center.